Hey guys, it's Friday, April 9th, I believe. Got a bunch of artifacts here that I want to go over, so I am going to have to go rather quickly. um, so we'll move into it first. I found this piece here up at the fish dam site, and as best I can tell, this is a horn. I'm going to ask some help from you guys on this piece here. It was stuck in the bank at least 4 feet from the surface. And you guys got any ideas on this? I guess it could be a cow. Maybe a female buffalo. I have no idea. I just know it's old. It's very old. So help me out on this one and let me know what you think on it, on this piece. Anyway, I believe this to be a little bit of a Tomahawk piece. You can see where it's all been chipped and worked down here. All the way around this thing. Very common form where they taper it off in this geometric shape for Tomahawk heads here. It's all been chipped, kind of crude, roughly, roughly made, but I believe that's what this is. They'd half these things like this. Little polishing piece here. Again, this culture was primarily agrarian. Took this whole side down right here. That's your thumb notch right in here. It'll be held like that. A lot of these stones I can figure out how they're held, and a lot of them I can't. But yeah, just a polishing, grinding piece here. Another really nice one here. This is made out of some really good quartzite. You can see where they've chipped the whole sides around on this stone here. Notched it out right here. That's your polishing surface there, or grinding surface. That's just real good high grade quartzite. That's a top. That's a nice piece. And they just work these sides down. They chip them down and then they polish them. It's a left-handed piece. That's a thumb notch. Going to be pushing this thing from the back. This is some type of spoon, I think. It's got kind of an oily material there on that surface there. It's a type of spoon, I think. Low grade quartzite. A little polishing piece here. You see the edges on the side where they pecked it out, smoothed it out. Just a little kind of wedge shaped piece. I think this piece may have been used for smoothing pottery. Real small. A lot of times you'll see that. Small pieces like this used for smoothing out pottery. It's quartzite. There's another piece, another polishing piece here. This is a nicely worked tool. This thing will be held just like that. been kind of grooved out right in here for your, for your finger. It would go like that. Really smooth down here. That's the surface that they use to polish with. Nice little piece. Little scraping blade made of Blackstone. See where they beveled it down here on both sides. It's a nice little piece. It's another polishing piece here. And this piece here, just really incredible work done on this thing. I think it may have been a just incredible polishing work and just symmetry on this piece here. Really hard type of granite. Unfortunately, this thing is a break, and it's got two spots. This whole top has been broke off. And how I can tell it's been broke and not worked is it got the sharp edges on it, and the back too, unfortunately, has been broke off. I don't know if that was maybe an axe head or what it was, but I would like to have seen it in its entirety before it got broke up. But anyway, that's just the way it is. A piece of Blackstone here. This is another polishing piece here. This surface here is a polishing surface. You see how it's all ground down. All been smoothed off here. You just use that edge there to polish. A little nutting piece, a little nutting stone there. Been held just like that. You see the oils from the nuts. A piece of greenstone here. They held this thing, you can see where they grooved it out right there. Now it's dark in there. They held it like that. I think they used this material when they ground it down, this greenstone. They used it for some purpose. I don't know. It's a fairly soft stone. And I don't know if it was used for medicinal use or maybe for a paint. But every time I see a little piece of greenstone like that, I pick it up, and almost always has been a work piece or a piece that's been ground on at least one edge. Really nice polishing piece here, Blackstone. Highly crystalline, really dense material. They really liked using this material when they could find it. And guys, you got to understand this culture, the woodland period time and the Mississippian culture were almost all agrarian, and almost all the tools that they had and they used were handheld. So grinding and polishing were very important. Very important. Because these things had to be comfortable in the hand. And they used them for processing grains, nuts, seeds, crops. They grew a lot of squash, beans, corn in the valleys up here. I'm not sure about this. Is some kind of tool. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's all been notched and pecked, and I see a lot of these kind of 90-degree type tools. Sometimes I'll call them duck heads when they're rounded off a little bit more. Not sure on that one. Pretty smooth right here. Could have been a little, just not really sure how they held it. Again, a lot of what you see up here, for whatever reason, they peck out these ends. This is a little small pecking stone. Work the sides on this thing. Smooth it off on these sides. They just hold this in their hand like that and peck away at getting towards the end of the the final product with these type tools. Are just doing really small material removing with these tools here. A piece of pottery has really been tumbled down the stream. That tells me that there were camps way up above from where I've been hunting. So I'll have to start looking into that. This thing has been tumbled quite a bit. Little marks in there that they put in. I'm not sure on these pieces. I think maybe these were used to maybe remove bark off of arrow shafts or something. A little grooved out. The dark on the ends. Not sure how they held it. But I'm not real sure on this piece. Sandstone's what this is made of. Not sure on this piece either. It's just, I'm thinking one of two things. It's either a seed planter. They would sometimes form a tool that was shaped like this to plant seeds. They would just dig a little hole about an inch and drop the seed in. That's all they needed to do. And a tool like that would work really well. Let's see where it's been worked down here on the back side and the front. All been polished, so it'd be comfortable in the hand. Well, this thing could have been hafted too. I don't know. It could have been like a hafted club. A lot of times they'll do this and haft them. They'll knock or take one end of it off and take it way down like that on one end and haft these pieces. So it could have been a hafted club. Be like that. But I don't think so. I'm thinking seed planter on that one. These are some stones here that I put a little bit of oil on. A lot of times, guys, these things are so sandblasted, it's really hard to see the work that's been done on these stones. So the oil really bring out the work, the pecking work. Kind of just show you some on this tool here. This was a type of pestle made out of quartz. So you can see the work that's been done all around the edges on these tools. The oil will really bring them out. I wouldn't recommend that you put oil on something that was really rare and valuable. Sometimes it will completely evaporate away, but other times it does not, and it'll actually seep into the stone and cause discoloration. So anyway, something that's really rare and worth a lot of money, or just rare, I wouldn't recommend you put oil on it. This is just vegetable oil, but just for purposes of just kind of showing the work on these kind of tools, it'll really help bring out the workmanship on them. This is another little Blackstone piece. This is another polishing piece. You can see here, this has all been pecked out, worked out, and that's where the finger would go. This tool would have been held like this, and I think this was probably used for polishing pottery or working down pottery, smoothing it out. This is not natural, guys. Believe me, I've been doing this a long time. But all their pottery pieces were normally, once they started firming up, they would polish them down. Almost every piece they would do that way. So there are a lot of pieces out that were used for smoothing out pottery. And you look at this stone here, and you're not thinking it's much, but this is getting into the part of a dam that is really old. It was probably the first part of the dam that was being built. I don't know how far back it goes. What I do find is a lot of these tools, they in that part of the dam, they actually oil, and this is one of them here. So I did put a little bit of oil on these, but the most of the artifacts I find in this one part of the dam are heavily oiled. And the rest of the dam side is not. And the tools are just are clean without the oiling. But this is just a little piece here. It's actually a tool. You may not think so, but it is. It's been chipped out right in here. It's been polished off to some degree around this thing. And what they did is they stuck their thumb in there. They'd wrapped their finger around it, and that edge has all been worn down. And they just used it to crush probably nuts, small nuts, on that end there. So that's not natural. It's all been chipped out. Here's some other stones. These came from the old part of the dam. These are old tools. They put some oil on them. You see all the work, all the spalling that's done to these stones. It's like I say, it's hard to see without doing something like this, but you can see all the pecking and spalling that they did on these. You know, they just got them where they would be halfway comfortable in the hand. This is a type of pestle. I would kind of put in a category of like a semi-bell pestle or something like that. Another piece that came out of the old part of the dam. This stone here is heavily oiled. I did put some on it, but you see all the working that's been done on this stone. Just worked it into shape, polished it down. It's really worn here, worn on both ends here. It's all been chipped down there through here. Anyway, those are, thought you might want to see these. Now these I think I might need a little help on too. These stones here, I'm starting to think that they were type of a fossilized shell that they used for I've got several of these that are shaped exactly like this, and I think they used them for either crushing nuts or just a little bit of polishing or grinding. Here's another one here. It doesn't show the marks on it, but the bottom has got this kind of like lip on it going around at the bottom. See how it's smooth there? They had their fingers up there like that and held it like this. But it's the same shape and kind of form on the bottom of this thing. Anybody knows a little bit more about fossilized stones and tools, let me know on these. A little piece here that some people say, well, nothing you got has been chipped or flaked or whatever. I don't know what the intent was with this tool, but they they knocked big pieces of material off this stone here, there, kind of sharp on these edges. Smooth on the top. It might have been just another grinding piece. Smooth on this backside, but that probably was done with a hammerstone there. Material removed with a hammerstone on this side. Don't see that very often because they would work that down. They would smooth it all down after they had worked off material with a hammerstone. So you just don't see it in that state very often. More of a rough state. And here's a big giant grinder I found. A big one. It's about 5 or 6 pounds. But it's in nice shape. Really nice shape. It's hard to get this thing in the... It's a piece of granite. You see where they've pecked it all down and chipped it down and then polished it on this side. Really polished it on that side because that's where your fingers would be. This would be a right-handed piece, and they push this thing from the back. Let's see if I can get a hold of it. And this is where their thumb would go. That's a thumb slot that they would hold it like that, kind of wrap the fingers around this other side a little bit, and they would just push this thing from the back like this. Just a really big grinding stone. You can see the wear on the tip there. Well, somebody put a lot of work into that piece. Anyway, that's what I got for today, guys. I know it was longer than I thought I could do, but anyway, I got all these pieces in. But let me know something on these, some of these, the horn, and how old you think it is or what it may be. And but I always appreciate you guys, and hope you're doing well.